Greetings. What's going on, guys? What up? What up? What up? What up? What's good? YT, FB, what up? We about to get TT in here too, man. Shout out to everybody coming through. If you can hear me and see me, type one in the chat. Just want to make sure my audio's good. Let's get TT in here too, man. Young Tiki Taki. Guys, if you hear me and see me, type one in the chat. Type one in the chat, man. Just make sure we good. TikTok. Are we live? There we go. What up, TikTok? Hey, type one in the chat if y'all can hear me and see me, man. If my audio is good. Let's see what we got in the building, man. We got the black man. What up, black man? There's what you want, and there's what I want. All right, man. Whatever that means. Glad you pulled up, man. Welcome to the live. We got Tay is in the building. What up, Tay? Jeffrey Perez. What up, Jeffrey Perez? What up? Sevens Media. Greetings. George Lane 88. What up? We got Martha. Young Martha Shaw. What up? What's popping? Guys, if you can hear me and see me good, just type one in the chat for me real quick, man. We just doing a little mic check. We doing an audio check, man. Type one if y'all can hear me and see me, man. What's happening? What's happening? We got the black man. He says, and guys, I'm not racially profiling. His name is Black Man. That's what it says. You should do this comment at the top thing you have right now. Hey, man, sometimes you got to like drop the top comment, man. Sometimes you got to get it popping with that. Martha Shaw says one. All right, cool. NM from TikTok says hello with a waving emoji. What up, NM? What up, AD Lane? What's popping? What's happening? Guys, where y'all from, man? Who we got in the building, man? Type in the chat. Rep your city, man. Like Lil John and them Eastside boys said, man. What city you from, man? I want to know who we got in the building. We got Jason Kelly, LLC. What up, Jason Kelly? We got NM. Is from Puerto Rico. Shout out to Puerto Rico in the building. What up? We got bro. What about racist? Now racism is over. I think that's in reference to what I said about the black man. Yeah, I was just letting y'all know that my man's name is Black Man. Okay, that was not a racial slur. Born Sigma's in the chat. What up? What up? Young Bruce is in the chat, man, from Missouri. Born Sigma, man. What's your progress, man? Progress report, please. Let me know what's been going on. Dylan Castro, best protein shake. I don't think there's a best protein shake, man. I think they're pretty similar across the board. Best rule of thumb when you're shopping for any like protein item, the least ingredients, the better, right? If the ingredient label looks like a motherfucking credit report, like it's probably not the best source of protein. But if that shit is like a few simple ingredients, maybe like 4 to 5 ingredients, something like that, that's usually the best, which is difficult to find. So what's the best source of protein? Protein that don't got a nutrition label. Like it's just that. Like you go get a packet of steak, that shit ain't got no ingredient label. It's just the nutrition facts. That's it. North Georgia's in the building. Robbie Newton. My bad, man. That wasn't disrespect. My bad. North Georgia. What up, man? Born Sigma's in trucking school. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Still working out daily and posting. All right. Well, how much weight we done lost, man? We lost more. You know, we maintaining where we at. Larry Trewicki says best protein is sardines and eggs. Yeah, a strong case could be made for those as good protein sources for all the other things that you get other than protein, like, you know, healthy cholesterols and whatnot and things like that. But I would just say from the perspective of like, there are superior protein sources per serving than eggs, but that's another topic for another day. All right. Charisse, what up? She's from Virginia Beach. Shout out to Virginia in the building. What up? What up? Um, I was just listening to the Clips album, man. I like the Clips new album, man. If you guys like the Clips new album, man, give me a thumbs up in the chat. That's what I think about whenever I think about Virginia Beach. I think about the Clips and Pharrell. Okay, so Born Sigma's maintaining, man. That's what's up. Oscar Huerta. Do you take naps during the day? Sometimes, man. Just depends on how much sleep I got the day before. Like that used to be a staple back when I didn't work for myself, before I was like a full-time entrepreneur. Like when I was a part-time entrepreneur and working full-time job, yeah, I had to take naps because I was doing a schedule where I would go to sleep at like 9 or 10 at night, wake up at 4 a.m. I would train a few clients before my day job. Then I would go to my day job, right? And then, oh, I'm sorry, I missed something. I would do my workout, train a few clients, right? Then go to my day job, then get out of my day job, then train more clients, right? And then go home, go to sleep, and do it all over again. With a schedule like that, I had to do like a midday nap to get through my day. You know what I'm saying? But here recently, obviously working for myself full time, you know what I'm saying, I can manipulate my schedule accordingly. Sharice says, I've lost 60 plus pounds and maintaining, doing more cardio and strength. Let's clap it up for Sharice losing that 60 ball. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. NM says somebody listening to music during the workout. Hell yeah, always. Usually like a half and half split though. Sometimes I'll be like studying, like I'll be listening to a course or a book or like a podcast for like half of it, and the other half I do a lifting session, just depending on what I'm practicing. Simon says, how to lose man boobs. You simply just, go into a calorie deficit, man. It's the same way you lose fat from your stomach, from your back, from your arms. All that shit is the same shit. You just burn more calories than you consume, and you do it for a significant amount of time, long enough to see the man titties go away. Right? I know it's not the answer you was looking for. You was looking for me to tell you, oh man, just do this special exercise and it'll get rid of your chest fat. Nope. Anybody telling you that is full of shit. Now you would benefit though of actually having chest muscles underneath the fat, right? So you definitely want to train your chest muscles for sure while you're creating a deficit. Do your presses, do your incline presses, do your dips, do your flies, your crossovers, right? Do all that good shit that you see on YouTube. But yeah, man, create a deficit. That's the key to success. You guys want me to make more content on getting rid of man titties, right? Getting rid of man titties so you can actually be proud of your chest like me. Give me a thumbs up in the chat, and maybe I'll make more content around that. What do you do for the upper chest and lats? Upper chest, the best movements are incline movements, man. Incline presses with dumbbells, barbell pressing, upward cable crossovers where you're going from low to high. This is all great for upper chest. Champagne press is pretty good too. That's one of my favorites. And yeah, man, just doing that consistently. I would say lats, man, the best movements are pull-ups, pull downs, and rows. Pullovers are really good too. But yeah, you guys want me to make more chest content? Type chest in the comments. I'll make more chest videos. Working on it, coach. Getting rid of these moves. Yeah, get rid of them titties, man. Say them titties for the ladies. Reaper says size. Okay, I don't know what you're asking me there. Big Food Channel says Bikini Bottom or Springfield. Which one would I rather live in? I would rather live in Springfield, man. Right? Who the fuck wants to just live under the water with sponges and random animals? Right? By choice, right? Just hang out with sponges and random animals. No, I'm good, man. I would rather live in Springfield personally. But you're welcome to do whatever you like. Spark says Jeep at you, bro. I don't know what Jeep at you means. Maybe he drives a Jeep, right? And good for you, man. I'm glad you enjoy that vehicle. Jacob Ray says, love your videos about dieting. It helps me out a lot. Glad I can help my brother. Evan Milaner says something about a sandwich. He says during a bulk period, would you eat PB&J sandwich with fruity pebbles and cereals in it? One, that doesn't sound appetizing at all, right? Fruity pebbles and peanut butter and jelly, that sounds gross. But you're free to do whatever you like, right? If you're looking to build muscle in a bulk, like your main objective is to create a calorie surplus, so that not only can you perform well in the gym, but you can also recover well. If peanut butter and jelly helps you do that, right? Because that's a ton of calories, go for it. I know when I was really skinny and I had a tough time getting calories in, peanut butter and jelly was one of the things that helped me a lot. So if you think, that could be something to help you get some easy calories, go for it. If you guys want me to make more bulking videos, type a flex emoji in the chat, man. I'll put that on the radar for me and the team to start recording that stuff. Oscar Hreta. Would walking 10,000 steps and strength training be enough for weight loss, or do I have to do HIIT? None of that shit you said is going to guarantee you weight loss. You want to know what guarantees you weight loss? Calorie deficit, right? Trying to just do like cardio, like 10,000 steps and HIIT training, right? And strength training and not tracking your calories. It's like trying to dig a hole with a spoon, right? Like, yeah, you can get some dirt out of the ground with a spoon, but let's say you wanted to create a pool in your backyard, right? Which would you rather use to create this hole that you need to put your pool in? Would you rather use a motherfucking spoon, right? Or would you rather get a fucking bulldozer and come in and scoop that dirt out quickly? Guys, type in the chat, which would you rather have? I would rather personally have the bulldozer. Now, what's the equivalent of the bulldozer as it pertains to your health and fitness goals? You need to be tracking your nutrients and creating a calorie deficit, because that's going to move more of that dirt out of the ground. That's going to create the deficit faster, right? But you just want to work out, that's all you want to focus on, man. Like, you basically in your backyard with a spoon trying to make a pool with it. All right. What's the difference between PEX and Man BS? I think that's Man Boobs. The difference is how it looks, man. The titty has the man titty has that droop, right? Sort of like, it looks like how a it looks like how like a teenage girl who's hitting puberty, like that chest, like it's kind of drooping. You know what I mean? Like something's developing. That's what man titties looks like. That's what moobs are. Man's chest looks like, if you ever seen those drawings that they have of Spartan warriors or Greek guys, they got definition. You can see the muscles and separation of striations of a man's chest. That's what pecs are. Antonio Morrison, keep up the good work, King. Thank you for your continued inspiration. You are doing an amazing job. May God bless you always. Antonio, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Very much happy that I can bless you guys with this gift of knowledge and also charisma and wit that I've been blessed with every single day. I'm glad it's been helpful, man. Michael Kowalsski, right? I don't know why I thought about that monster from Monsters Inc. What is his name? Mike Wazowski. That's all I thought about when I read that. I'm a big kid. He says, what's a good BMR calculator? I usually just use the first one that pops up on Google. So if I go BMR calculator, I'm on Google right now on the other screen, BMR calculator. The first one that pops up, www.calculator.net. I've been using that one for years. I've never used another one. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's the one I go to. Sourpuss. Shout out to Sourpuss, man. Loves your videos. I appreciate the support, Sourpuss. You know what I'm saying? I like your name. Rodrigo Morales says your videos help me a lot. Hey man, that's what I'm here for, man. Just here to give the game, give the value. What I'm saying, give as much as I can to others because I've been given so much. The Boomer Baller says, "Are you interested? Interested in what, my man? You got to be more clear about what you're asking me." Kiera. Okay. Corey, I love your videos. Been using them as I lived in my car for years traveling. Had a question. I just got surgery and I can't exercise. What's an inactive deficit I should go with? You have to determine what your BMR is and then just subtract calories from that. So, fortunate for you, Mike Kowalski just asked about BMR calculators. You can just Google BMR calculator. That stands for basal metabolic rate for anybody who's kind of new to the science, right? New to this shit. That tells you how many calories your body burns by itself before you do anything, right? So you find out what that number is for you. It's just going to ask you to input your age, your height, and your weight, and then you just subtract calories from that, right? So, like, let's say it tells you your BMR is 2,000. A lot of the times what I do for my clients is I just tell them subtract 200 to 300 calories from your BMR, and then that'll put you in a deficit every day. So if you're, 2,000, you eat 1,700 calories, that's a 300 calorie deficit, right? Guys, if that made sense, man, give me a thumbs up in the chat. Give your boy a thumbs up if that made sense. Is Monster Zero better than normal one? Maybe, I guess. Like it's no calories, right? I think Monster is trash across the board. Personally, man, I don't like putting that shit in my body. Pause. But if you like it, man, go for it. Can you lose weight if you're black? Been doing it for years. Been teaching it for years. So I guess the answer will be yes. So that's without activity. Thank you so much. No problem. Marlon Webb gave me a thumbs up. Appreciate that. Young Baller 23 followed me. I appreciate that, Young Baller. Appreciate the support. Hope you get a ton of value from the page. If there's anything that you guys want me to make more of, just let me know. Does watermelon make you fat? No, over consuming calories makes you fat, right? Watermelon can contribute to that, but it's not the only reason. Ember330 says, "Yo, been watching your tips for years. Appreciate you, Corey. Appreciate you, Ember. Appreciate the support. Big belly food, hopefully is not keeping you big as hell anymore, man. I'm here to help you with that." Navatine Gordon. What up, Navatine? That's a great name. What are some good exercises to lose weight, tone, and at the same time for a woman? There are no special exercises, Navatine. Just like ain't no special foods. Like anybody telling you that shit is full of shit, right? The only way to build muscle, lose fat, right, is essentially two opposing sides of the coin, right? Toning, by the way, guys, is just having muscle and being able to see it. So it's just losing fat and keeping muscle. So I'm gonna give you the prescription for toning, Navatine, and anybody else who wants to know. You have to be in a calorie deficit, but eat high protein while strength training, right? So generally speaking, Navatine, you need to figure out what your numbers are first. That's nothing else is gonna matter if you don't have your numbers. If you don't know how many calories you need to be in a deficit, and then within those calories, how much protein you need to maintain your muscle, nothing else is going to matter. Fuck the exercises because it ain't even going to work right. Right? Why is it not going to work right? Exercising and not giving your body the appropriate amount of protein is like attempting to build a house with no bricks. Right? Imagine if you had a blueprint for a house and you gave it to contractors and you was like, "Hey guys, build me this dream house." If you ain't give them no bricks, you ain't getting no motherfucking house, right? You can get an empty lot. And that's what you guys are ending up with when you just doing workouts without eating the appropriate amount of protein and the appropriate amount of total calories. So you need that first, Navatine. You can do that by simply, I got some free guides on it. You can go grab one of those from the link in my channel. I also dropped a master class today here too, just in case you want to go check that out. I'll drop it in the chat again. But go find your BMR. You can go Google that shit right now. You're gonna put in your age, your height, and your weight. And then once you find that, you just subtract a certain amount of calories from it to create a deficit. From that, you determine how much protein you need in that. You stick it into like a macro ratio, Navatine, right? And then from there, it's just hitting those numbers with your food intake. Now, exercises wise, like I would say, stick to the compound exercises, squats, deadlifts, rows, presses, you do a full body workout 3 to 4 days a week. That should be enough. But yeah, that's the basic summation. Guys, if that was helpful information for you guys that want to tone up, drop a flex emoji in the chat. Is it bad to not hit those numbers from BMI? BMI, like body mass index, that's a different conversation than what I just said. So if you're asking about BMI, I never go by BMI. I think it's a bunch of bullshit. Right. I think BMI is an inaccurate representation of health. It's outdated because it doesn't take into account like your actual composition. I'm technically obese for my height, guys, according to BMI. Right. Why is that? Because BMI does not account for like I have more lean muscle mass than the average person. Right. So I would go by body fat, right? Go by body composition, body fat, lean muscle mass. That's a better representation. Let me go ahead and put these interesting motherfuckers in time out real quick, man. Yeah, let's do that real quick. All right. What's the highest weight you've done an overhead dumbbell tricep extension? Do you think it's good exercise for triceps? It's a great exercise for triceps. I think the most I've done with a dumbbell is like 75 pounds once. I don't do it with dumbbells a lot these days, though. I kind of like that stretch you get from like using a preset barbell or like using ropes, like the cable ropes. I like that stretch a little bit better than dumbbells. But I think the heaviest I've attempted with overhead extension with dumbbells is like 75. How do you gain more upper body strength? My push-up game is weak. I mean, shit, push-ups. I don't think that's the most. I don't think that's the best way to do it, Big Vern. I think you get you some free weights, man, and target those muscle groups in your upper body in a more isolated manner. I think that'd be way better than doing some push-ups, bro. Right? Because I don't know how fat you are. Right? If you're really fat, that might be too much weight for you to do. Push-ups with right now. You might need to build those muscles up. Is TRX good for women? Yeah, why not? What's wrong with TRX for women? Who told you that a woman couldn't do TRX? Will high protein increase my triglycerides? Nah. Or why would it increase your triglycerides? Right, like that. Those two are independent. Your triglycerides are more tied to like I would say fattier foods, right? As well as just the lifestyle, like how active you are. Those things would impact your triglycerides more than protein itself. So maybe you need to ask yourself, what quality of protein are you consuming? Are you eating fattier proteins or lean proteins? Because maybe the fattier proteins are carrying just too much cholesterol, right? Or just too many calories in total, and you're not burning through that. That's how I would look at it. Not running keeping you big as hell. Yo, maybe. I ain't ran in a long time, and I'm not big as hell. I watch your Instagram videos all the time. Thanks for the tips, bro. No problem, Big Vern. Glad I can help. Would you say compound movements for triceps are strictly needed? Is if your goal is pure size? I would say a healthy mix of compound as well as isolations could really be beneficial. If it's specifically tricep training, you want to look at it from the perspective of like what's going to build you the most strength with your triceps. Is it going to be a compound exercise or isolation? Well, of course, it's going to be a compound exercise, right? But then once you've hit a certain point where you are like really, really strong with your triceps on a compound exercise, you start to get more development of other muscles. If you really want to emphasize tricep development, then you should have a program that gives you compound exercises with triceps and then gives you isolations to add additional volume of training specifically to that area. Because progressive overload is the game, right? Progressive overload is the language that your muscles speak, right? And so progressive overload is simply increasing volume, frequency, modifying tempo, rest periods, and sort of, increasing, rate of perceived exertion in certain instances to get your body to adapt, right? So you have to have a little bit of mix of all of those to get optimal growth in your program. Guys, if that was helpful information about muscle growth, give me a flex emoji in the chat. My man's Luke get busy, 41 pounds in 5 months. Hey, let's clap it up for Luke. Come on, big. Hey, come on, Luke. Yeah. Pedro B. Hey, bro, love your videos. Do you think I should implement cardio before or after I work out? Where you put your cardio depends on your goal. If your goal is to be aesthetic, ripped, lean, look good with your shirt off, right? Flex at the beach, I would say after. Why? Because aesthetic training lends itself to what? Strength training, right? So if you want to look a certain way, you have to have a certain amount of muscle. What you want to do is you want to have the emphasis of what your goal is be at the very beginning of your session, because that's when you have the most energy. So you can put the most towards your strength if it's first, which means that you will get the most out of your strength workouts. And cardio would just kind of be additional, which is why it would be last in that scenario. If your goal is to run a marathon, right? You're an endurance athlete. You want to do a 5K, a Spartan race, Iron Man, some shit like that, right? You want to be David Goggins or some shit, right? Fuck what I just said. Do your cardio first, right? Because that's the priority, because that's where you would have the most energy, right? It would show up in your endurance training if you do that first and then lift, right? So endurance athletes should do cardio first. People who want to be toned, ripped, lean, aesthetic, defined, whatever you want to call it, that you want to look confident in and out of your clothes, right? You should be lifting weights first. Guys, if that was helpful information, give me a thumbs up in the chat. Al Beasy, Corey, what's your favorite workout split? I usually do a 6-day push-pull leg basic. I know, but it works for me. I was curious if there's other splits you've seen better results with. I cycle through 3 predominant splits throughout the year, and I have my clients do the same. Full body, upper lower, and push-pull leg, right? I typically personally do it in a 6-day cycle for each. If you're just curious to hear how it works, my full body is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday are like my focus sessions. Focus session essentially is where you pick like 2 to 3 smaller muscle groups and you just focus on those, right? So if you want to add a little extra volume of training to those areas, you do it Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So for me right now, I'm doing full body Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday is abs, shoulders, and arms, right? And I'm doing that so that I increase the frequency of training, have muscle protein synthesis running all week. So I'm getting the most muscle growth to those areas in this phase. That's going to run its course, and the frequency is not going to be as effective. At a certain point, I'm going to transition to upper lower. Upper lower is just like how it sounds. Upper body, lower body, upper body, lower body, upper body, lower body. So that's Monday, upper body, Tuesday, lower body, and so on and so forth, right? And then lastly, there's going to be a push-pull leg transition at some point by the end of the year. And that's it. Those are the 3 splits. I think all of them have benefits. I did a full video on why I do it this way. Feel free to go check it out on my YouTube channel. What do you consider a full body workout? Hitting every muscle group, right? Hitting every muscle group is a full body workout. So if you want to know what I did today, I started with squats, then I transitioned to pull-ups, then I transitioned to dips, both weighted pull-ups, weighted dips, right? Then shoulder presses, and then went to curls, tricep extension, abs, calves, and then got the fuck out of there, right? That's a full body workout. You do that for 3 to 4 days a week, throwing some focus sessions in between, you're gonna get all kinds of results, right? Hey, bro, love your content. How can I get my friend Blad to lose weight as a picky eater? You can't get other people to do shit. Like you can't get people to do nothing that they don't want to do. This person that you're talking about, they got to make the decision that they don't want to be big as hell no more. Right? So there's nothing you can do. You can lead the horse to water, but you can't make him what? Can't make him drink, right? So I would just say lead them to the information. If they want to use it, then by all means go for it. I've plateaued. I went from 350 to 283 pounds. How can I get out of that? Should I cut more calories, boost my exercise, like more reps and sets? I think both could possibly be beneficial, but you got to look at your calories, right? Like how long have you been at the calories you've been at? You lost a lot of weight, 350 to 283. Let's clap it up for Navatine losing all that weight. Navatine, you big as hell. I don't know if anybody told you that. I got to be honest with you. So you got to keep going, right? Nobody's healthy at like 280 something, but like you on your journey, right? So I support that. You lost 70 pounds though. If you using the same calories that you was using 70 pounds ago, it's time to adjust that shit. Like your whole body chemistry is different now. Your whole your hormonal profile is completely different. So like if you haven't done a calorie adjustment in mad long, I would go that route first and then maybe increase something small, like bump your steps up. If you're doing like, some people be tracking their steps, they doing like 8,000, just bump that shit up to 10,000 or 12,000 or 15,000, right? Maybe you do a 24-hour fast once a week. That's what I have my clients do. I also made a content piece on plateau breakers here recently. Feel free to go check that out on my channel as well. But yeah, if you need more help, just go, look at that free masterclass I'm letting y'all get access to today too. It goes in depth about how I'm able to help so many people lose so much weight so quickly for so many years. All right. Let me look at what's here. Johnson says, "Hi, Dad." Johnson, I'm not your father. I don't have any children, right? Should I cut out carbs like rice and bread and the calorie deficit to see more results? If you want, I mean, I don't think you have to though. Like, let's just use me for example, right? I lost 50 pounds in 5 months eating rice every fucking day for 5 months. Chicken, broccoli, rice. How did I do that? Calorie deficit. Right? It ain't no magic to getting rid of rice and bread, bro. It's calorie deficit. I only eat 2 things other than fruits and veggies: chicken, rice, beef, and rice. Simple, right? But it's like if you ain't tracking your macros, my man, that's where you're fucking up. That's where you're fucking up. You're fucking up by not tracking your macros, man. If you ain't tracking, you slacking. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Sometimes it be like that, man. It be like that. Cool. Also, guys, if you're enjoying the live, man, if I've said something helpful today, just like the video. Just hit that like button on the video, man. Show some love, show some support. You know what I'm saying? DG, does it take longer to lose weight on a calorie deficit when you have rice and bread in your diet? Does it take longer? In comparison to what? Like a calorie deficit is a calorie deficit. So like, for example, if you go Google search the Twinkie diet, right, you'll see an experiment pop up where the scientists wanted to substantiate whether or not you could lose weight in a calorie deficit eating junk food. So he ate pretty much Twinkies and Hostess cakes and Little Debbie's and shit every single day for, I think it was like 6 or 8 weeks or something like that. And he lost a lot of weight because he made sure that he was tracking everything and he was in a caloric deficit, right? And so like when you look at that, it proves that like it really doesn't matter what you eat, just as long as you're in a deficit. But the quality of your weight loss, your energy, your strength, your performance, your libido, all that stuff is really tied to the macronutrient profile of the nutrients that you consume in that deficit. So how your body looks and how your body performs is tied to what foods you actually eat in that deficit. So if you want optimal health and strength, right, You want your libido, your energy to be good. You want to have abs. You want your muscles to pop when this fat come off your motherfucking body. Right? What do you need to consume? You need to actually eat a high protein diet. You need to make sure that deficit is like sufficient in protein for your body, as well as healthy fats, right? And then maybe moderate to light carbs. That's what I would recommend. So it's not about the motherfucking rice and bread. It's about what I just said, man. It's about calorie deficit and then making sure that you hit your macros in that deficit. Is 85-15 ground beef okay on the lean bulk? I don't see why not, right? As long as you're hitting your macros. Yo, I got headphones, bruh, for gym. Was using earbuds. Yeah, welcome to the club, man. Earbuds is whack. Michelle Kane, love your videos. Thank you. No problem. Glad I could help. Brandon, yo, bro, love the content. What's your playlist at the gym? I need some motivation for real. I can drop it in the chat. Where's my link tree? Can I get to my link tree right now? Shit. All right. I'm logging in. Hopefully this works. So I have a special link tree account for my clients. Usually I just, give them my gym playlist and whatnot. But since you're here and you asked, I can give you my playlist. Which one you want, man? You want the gym rock playlist? You want the morning money? You want the gangster music? What you want, man? Like, let me know. Matter of fact, can I give you the whole list? Let me see, because I barely use this link tree. Guys, if you're enjoying the live so far, just give me a thumbs up in the chat, man, while I find this playlist for my boy. All right, let's see if this works. Playlist. Is this gonna work? Nope, that didn't work. All right. So I can't do the whole playlist, but I can do. We're gonna do the morning money playlist, man. Share this link. All right. Hopefully this works. So that's my morning money playlist right there. Go check that out and enjoy. Oh, you want the gym rock playlist too? Hold up, I'll give you the gym rock one too. The gym rock one is that's the one I've been listening to the most when I've been angry. I'll put a thing here. So that's the gym rock one. All right. C. Milton says, why does the last 10 pounds take so long? I lost 42 pounds and this last 10 is so slow. It's because of that old story in the Bible, man. It's like what happened to Moses, right? You know who Moses is? Guys, if you guys know who Moses is, give me a thumbs up in the chat. Right. So Moses, he did what? What was he famous for in the Bible? He freed the Israelite slaves, right? He went up in Egypt. He was like, yo, let my people go. They walked up out of there. He split the Red Sea and they went to the promised land. They went on the journey to the promised land. Well, unfortunately, it took like 40 years to get to the promised land. The promised land was only supposed to be like 3 days away. Now, why did it take 40 years to get somewhere that was 3 days away? It's because they went into the journey to the promised land with the same beliefs and thinking that got them out of Egypt. So inherently, what's the moral of the story? What gets you out of Egypt will not get you to the promised land. So my friend C. Melton, what got you that motherfucking 42 pounds off? Let's clap it up for that. That's impressive, right? 42 pounds off is not going to be the same strategy that gets this last 10 off, right? You out of Egypt, congratulations. But to get to the promised land, you have to alter your approach. So you have to change what you're doing, man. you got to change either your deficit or your rest, your recovery. You got to change, how long you fast, how much nutrients you take in and when, what your training looks like. You got to change something, but that's what it is. What you did worked, but now it's time for a new approach. Guys, if that was helpful, give me a flex emoji in the chat. Jenna, what do you think about pure protein bars? They're fine. I don't have any problem with them. Michelle Kane, my glutes and hip flexors get really tight and stretching doesn't stop it. How frequently do you do that, right? Like if your hip flexors are tight, how often are you doing things with your hips? Because stretching doesn't like alleviate tightness in the hips. That's a common misconception that stretching is enough for tightness. It's not, right? Stretching will lengthen the muscles and tell your body to relax for a small amount of time, but you have to address the things that cause the tightness in the first place, whether it's inherent move patterns or weakness in the surrounding muscle groups. There's a reason why your motherfucking hips is tight. It's either how your lifestyle is, you sit too much, right? You're not moving those hips around enough, or it's the fact that your glutes are weak, or your core is not firing, it's not stabilizing, so the hips have to take over, right? Like there's something that's causing that. So you have to address that to get rid of it permanently. I would recommend like really prioritizing and emphasizing, some type of mobility training, right? Mobility is different than flexibility. It's like strength through range of motion. And you can do mobility training before you actually do your strength training. This is what I teach my clients to do in my program. We focus primarily on, 3 types of mobility. We look at thoracic mobility, shoulder mobility, and hip mobility before we actually do our training session. And then what that does is it sends the signal to the body to utilize those muscles better and creates better range of motion and superior movement patterns for the session. Then when you strengthen, right, those muscles that I was talking about that may be lying dormant, it sort of solidifies that signal to your body to stay stable and change the posture so that you don't run into those mobility issues going forward. So I think you need something like that. Like get you a mobility training protocol, base your strength on the areas that are weak and tight, and then finish it off with like stretching. Guys, if that was helpful information for you, give me a flex emoji in the chat. What I'm saying? Let a brother know. How do I approach progressive overload? I made a video on this. You can go check it out. What's that video's name? It is called, maybe I can drop it in the chat. Guys, if this has been valuable, man, just hit the like button for your boy. Hit the like button for your boy. So I talked a little bit about progressive overload in my training split video. So let's check this out. So my man who's asking about progressive overload, just check out this YouTube video. I'm dropping in the chat. I'm saying? That should help. But generally speaking, like it's going to be a combination of 5 things that really lead to progressive overload. One is going to be volume, increasing the sets, reps, and weight frequency, increasing the days like that you train particular muscle groups per week. 3, intensity, right? So getting your body to work harder, essentially. 4 is rest periods, like when and where to place your rest periods throughout your programming. And then the 5th one is going to be tempo, right? Increasing time under tension, really focusing on the different parts of the muscle contraction, right? There's 3. You have the eccentric, the concentric, and isometric, right? Incorporating that in different parameters and ways could like lead to more progressive overload. So have fun with that video, my friend. And let me know if you get some value from it. Okay. Word. Do you have to rest and walk every day more than 10 miles? I don't know what you're asking me, right? Like, are you asking me, do you have to rest if you're walking 10 miles? Because you probably will have to. But I mean, if you're walking 10 miles every day, you might get used to it. Like your body might get accustomed to it. So I don't really know what you mean. You have to clarify that question. If you want to build, if I want to build my back with only 3 exercises, is it possible? What are they? Weighted pull-ups, barbell rows, and deadlifts. Barbell deadlifts. Those 3 movements are like the kings of back builders. You get those in there, you're gonna be out here winning. You know what I'm saying? What's the best fitness app to show your accurate macros, calories you need a day to lose weight? My Fitness Pal is a good one. I used to use that before I created my own app. But I use that every day. When I lost that 50 pounds in 5 months, I use My Fitness Pal every day. You know what I'm saying? So it's fine. It's free. You know, it pretty much has any food that you could find in there. It has a lot of restaurants. So it's really easy to use, user friendly. I think it's great. You know what I'm saying? I don't use it no more because, you know, I got my own app for me and my clients, but like, it's still great. Like if I didn't have that, I would still use it. Did you go to the gym today? Yes, I did. Right? Is water wet? Motherfucker. Of course I went to the gym today. Did you go to the gym today? What's going on? Love your content throughout the years. Appreciate that, Serbian. My favorite exercise is walking, to be honest. I walk at least an hour daily. I've had really good results. That's good. That's good, man. Walking is great exercise, man. It's probably one of my favorite things to do. I love going for my walks. It's one of the main reasons I moved to sunny Florida, man, so I can do more walks more frequently. You know what I'm saying? Get it popping with the walks, man. You know what I'm saying? And guys, if this has been helpful so far, go ahead and drop a flex emoji in the chat for your boy so that I know that this has been good. Okay. Do you have an app to teach workouts and how to use machines? Yeah, I do. It's a client only app though. I don't have like a one for like everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like what I do is I provide coaching. So it's like like a companion piece to my coaching program. We build custom meal plans, workouts. We use like the latest and greatest technology around, you know, biometrics and blood work analysis. And we use that to cater an approach to each person. And so they have their custom workouts for them in the plans on the app. And then they get a harassment call from me and my team every week. But that's beyond the scope of what I think you might be asking. I think you might be asking, do I got like an app on the app store for everybody? I don't have that. I'm from St. Petersburg, Florida. Hey, shout out to St. Pete. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to St. Pete. What headphones you got on? These are some whack Sonys, right? I broke my good Sonys. These are the best Sonys I've ever had right here, right? Shout out to the these are called the what the fuck are these called? The MX. Somebody in the chat's gonna tell me, but it's called, these are the M. So these are the 1000 XM5s that just came out with the 6s, right? So I'm gonna get those soon. But these, I broke these, right? And then I picked these up in the airport. These are like some Sonys that I got from like the Sony headphone vending machine. Right? So I don't know what these are, but they're just some Sonys, man. Hey, if you want some good headphones, get the 1000 XMs. Those are great. How does your coach work remotely? It's pretty simple. You know, we just create structure and accountability for each person. So nobody, like, people can't just sign up for my coaching. Like if they wanted to, they would have to apply first and meet with me and my team to see if we're a good fit, right? But basically, once we assess the person's individual goals, what their roadblocks are, again, we create a plan just for them. It's based off their blood work. It's based off their lifestyle and preferences. And then, you know, we cater that approach to them tracking it every day with my app. Me and my team watch the numbers every day, and then we hit them up, make sure that they're doing it. You know, we follow up and we do weekly check-in calls to ensure that things are getting implemented, and then we make modifications and adjustments where need be. So that's pretty much it. If you want more info on that, just go watch my free masterclass You know what I'm saying? You can get a more of a feel for like what we do. And you could apply. If you are a gym newbie though, I would not recommend you apply. It's pretty intense, it's pretty advanced. So I don't think it's gonna work well for you if you ain't never lifted weights before. So don't even apply if you ain't done that. If you lazy, definitely don't apply because it's gonna be a terrible experience for you. Right now, I won't take you on. But if you're willing to work, you're coachable, right? You know your way around a gym or some weights at home. You know, feel free to apply and check it out. See if maybe we can work together. How can I modify lunges if I'm heavier, my legs, so that I don't cause injuries on my joints? If you 280 pounds, I wouldn't have you doing lunges. I've coached a lot of people that heavy and even bigger. Right? I got motherfucking clients that are like 600 pounds. Right? You think I'm putting lunges in their fucking programs? Hell no. Right? Because they don't have the mobility, flexibility, and strength independently left to right and to be able to balance themselves on one leg at a time. So what I would have you do at 280 pounds is just do another variation for your legs. You know, do box squats, maybe do step ups on a small platform. That's a variation of a lunge because the benefit of a lunge is it's a single legged squat where you're just training each side independently. So a version of that could be just a step up. Maybe you use some stairs or a small step and then you step up and down. That's a variation of it. But do not be doing no motherfucking lunges at 280 pounds. That's crazy. DG said, thank you for the honest, bro. It's crazy you're willing to tell people don't apply instead of just trying to get money. Yeah, man. Like, look, I got a great fucking life, guys. Like, maybe I should like do more vlogging so you guys can see, but I live in an awesome community off the water. You know, my company does 6 figures every year. It's going to keep doing that until we hit 7. You know, I got a lot of people that I get to help. I get to help you motherfuckers every day, right? I love doing this, right? And then, you know, I'm in great shape. Like I got people on my team who I get to like provide value for. So like I don't need more problems. I do not need lazy motherfuckers. I do not need people who are like a pain to work with. Like I don't need that stress in my life. My life is great. You know, I only want to work with people who, you know, essentially are at a stage in their life where they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. They want a custom catered solution from somebody who's done it for a decade and is proven and gets results. Right? That's the only type of people I work well with. So yeah, I don't need the money. Like I need more transformations on my channel. That's what I need. Michelle Kane, right knee, have a pinch pain on a kneecap. Any thoughts? You might want to get an x-ray, right? Because it's difficult for me to diagnose that, especially off a comment on YouTube. I don't know if I would be giving you the best representation of what it could be. But typically, right? Typically, again, I think getting the doctor to look at it would be superior to anything. But like typically, like knee pain stems from systemic weakness or tightness in a surrounding muscle group. I talked about this earlier when I was asked about, I don't know if it was you or someone else, but the question was about tight hips and glutes, right? And I spoke about how that's a response to something around that area being weak. So with knees, what is it? Your body's a kinetic chain, meaning all muscles are connected to one another, right? So when it comes to joint like pain, it's not the joint that's the problem. The joint is overcompensating for lack of strength somewhere else. So either the quads, the hamstrings, even stemming up to the glutes, the hips, and the core may not be firing properly. And because of that, you have knee pain. So you have to be able to diagnose where the break in the chain is, like where the tightness or weakness is, and then fix that. I'm gonna give you a quick story, right? I had knee tendonitis a few years ago. I did it to myself, guys. I was out here lifting way too much weight with improper form. I fucked my shit up, right? Long story short, I fixed it without surgery. Here's how I did it. I diagnosed where my weakness was, right? My quads were super strong. Quads are the front side of the legs. My hamstrings were weak. right? And so that created such an imbalance that whenever I did squats, leg press, lunging, my body relied so much on those quads. And when the quads fatigue, it relied on what? The knees. And that's how the tendons got beat up. So what did I do? I started all my training with isolation for hamstrings, right? To get those fired up. Then I started doing hip dominant squatting movements that put me in the proper posture. So I started doing box squats, right? I started doing movements that, encourage my hips to be engaged, my glutes, my core. And that like made those muscles that were weak catch up to the strong muscles that were the quads. I broke that down in the video too. It's called, ironically, how to fix knee pain forever, right? So I'll drop that in the chat too, man. Knees, right? Yeah, this is the video right here. Go check that out, man. I put together a guide too on how to fix pain. It should be linked inside the description of that video. So it addresses everything from tight hips, shoulder pain, elbow pain, knee pain. It's all in there. Michelle Brown had an x-ray done, shows arthritis in my left knee. What's a safe exercise? So hopefully you can get access to that link I just dropped, Michelle. It's a whole video breaking this down. But like box squats are great, right? Box squats. Just what's a box squat? For you guys that don't know, you get like a box bench or a chair, you set it behind you, you sit down, you stand up. That's like basically what a box squat is. But you do it in a way that like you emphasize the hamstrings touching the bench, the box, or the chair, whatever you're using for your apparatus. The hamstrings got to touch before your butt does. That's very key because that ensures that you're actually getting those hips back and you're not just sitting down and not engaging the hips, right? So I think that should help, hopefully. Okay. Heather, I thought you were a dickhead before, but you're pretty nice. Hey man, thank you. I appreciate the kind words. Sometimes you find out. You fuck around and find out, as they would say. You fuck around and find out that I'm a multifaceted brother. There's a lot of sides to this coin. Okay. We got Yaya Riadal says good afternoon. Good afternoon. Right. Greetings. Welcome to the chat. Guys, if you're liking the live so far, just give me a thumbs up. You know what I'm saying? Show some love. My man, hold on, what does it say? How much cotton can you pick on a working day, and who is your master? Ask your mama. You know what I'm saying? She probably still sweating from that workout I gave her earlier, man. Ask your mama, John. Yeah, she'll tell you about the type of work I do. Michelle says, "Nah, you keep it real." I would agree with that. Like I just tell it like it is, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling John about how I wore his mama out. You know what I'm saying? But obviously I'm fucking around too, man. I like to have fun. Eddie R. I'm already doing 12,000 steps a day, strength training 3 days a week. Any other ways to burn more calories? Yeah, train 5 days a week or 6. Strength train more days a week. That'll be an easy way to burn more calories. Also 15,000 steps. You don't have to stop at 12. Who told you have to stop at 12? Have you tried carnivore? Nah, man. Fuck that. I like carbs. You know what I'm saying? I lost 50 pounds in 5 months eating carbs every day. Why would I give them up? That makes no sense. I get cramps in my inner thighs when I go heavy on barbell squat. Cramps? Are you sure you're hydrated adequately? A lot of the times that's due to an imbalance of hydration. You either don't have the right balance of your electrolytes or you're just not getting enough water in general. So that could be a part of it. But you might want to look at that as possibly a thing. But yeah, I would need more information to really give you a motherfucking synopsis. Sup coach just got back from the gym. Shout out to Cyrus getting it done. Guys, if y'all went to the gym today, right, give me a flex emoji in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Zach Freeman Lee says carnivore is the best way of eating. I'm done. Hey, good for you, man. You know, some people like it. Some people enjoy carnivore. You know, personally, I don't see the point. Like, but that's for me. That's for my lifestyle, right? Like, I just had before this a pita, some sweet potato, some steak, some eggs, and salmon, right? I enjoy meals like that. You know, you guys are just doing that with just the steak and the eggs and the salmon. That's fine too. You know what I'm saying? I swear Corey Armstrong knows so much about everything. I'm a freaking encyclopedia. I mean, I just studied this shit for a decade, man. Like anybody who's done anything for 10 years will know a lot about it. Right? So I just been in the game a long time. I appreciate that. I still learn from people smarter than me, right? That's the thing. That's the key to being, you know, in an ever progressing life is always be open to learn things from those either from you, you know, either from people who know more than you is what I was getting at there, or learning from people of things that you don't want to do. Right? I learn a lot from people's lives, things I do not want to mimic. Right? Like I remember growing up in Detroit, man, and just seeing like a lot of the shit that the guys around me were dealing with, like drama, chaos, gang violence, right? Like drugs, all this shit. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to have to deal with that. Right. So I learned from them what not to do. So just always be open-minded to learning new things, and you'll get to a point of life where you can give a ton of value to other people too. You know what I'm saying? Corey, been watching your videos and shorts for years now. Just wanted to say thank you for everything you do, bro. God bless the trolls. Get big as hell from all the hate. Appreciate the support. Hey man, you know, shout out to you, man. Just being consistent, you know, being a consistent learner. And hopefully the things that I share with you provide a ton of value and help you level up as well, my friend. Michelle says, gotta go. The gum, you know. Thank you for all your videos and this. No problem. Glad I could help. Guys, if you just want more from me, man, more value, more content, feel free to go check out that free masterclass that I have attached to the description of this video. And yeah, I think I could answer a few more questions before I get out of here. My man's Kurt CEO 8 just followed me. I appreciate that, Kurt. Man, shout out to Kurt, man, leveling up his game. You know what I'm saying? Leveling it up. Word. All right, I can answer a couple more. Oh, here we go. Serbian says, I did about 30,000 steps in London this Saturday. It was so much. I had a cheat meal. Man, that's a lot of fucking steps. 30,000. Yeah, that's a hell of a day. I've only done that a few times before. And yeah, Amine Abasi says, can I build muscle with plant protein? Yeah, it works just the same as animal protein. You know, protein, like your body only cares about the amino acids from protein, you know, and while plant protein, you know, in some cases is not complete protein in terms of all the amino acids, some of these companies are getting really good at like putting together, you know, plant-based blends that have all the amino acids that you need. So I would say, yeah, you know, just make sure that you know you're getting the adequate amount of protein per day. You know, like that's more important than whether it's plant-based or animal-based. Can you build muscle with protein and no carbs? Yeah. Yeah, you can build muscle with protein and no carbs. Is it different? Is it more challenging to some degree, right? But you can build muscle without carbohydrates present. That's just carbohydrates is just quick access to glucose, which is the immediate energy source that your body can utilize, you know, in the gym. But your body can also convert, like if you have a certain amount of protein present and like you got extra that your body hasn't used to repair the muscles, some of that gets converted to glucose too, through a process called gluconeogenesis. really nasty process, but it can work. But yeah, you can build muscle with no carbs. It's not like the only way to build muscle. I know some guys that are on keto and they build muscle. You know what I'm saying? So it's possible. You just need them amino acids. All right, guys, if this was helpful and you want me to go live again this week, just type live in the chat. Just type live in the chat, and then you know, so I'll see if I can get on here again. Yeah. All right, y'all. Well, we're gonna make it happen. Till next time, I see y'all on the next live. Peace.